All right, guys, more trig stuff today. Define general angles and use a radian measure. Going to introduce you to radians today. Hopefully you've seen them before also. All right, angles in center position. Center position just means that the vertex of your angle is at the origin. The initial side is on the positive x-axis, and what's called the terminal side is somewhere else. Okay, but I don't know, my picture keeps moving. Somewhere else. So we're basically taking the terminal side and moving it around the circle, around the coordinate plane. A 90-degree angle would be at the y-axis. 180 degrees would be over there, 270 there, 360 is back where you started. And to be honest, you could keep going round and round. You can go more than 360. We're going to find out later you can even go the other direction and make it negative angles, which is pretty cool. So make sure you go with the words. Center position, vertex at the origin, initial side always on the x-axis, positive x-axis. The terminal side is the one that's moving around the circle or moving around the coordinate plane. All right, draw an angle with a given measure in center position. So the first one says 240. Draw my little graph there. Okay, so the initial side is always on the x-axis. Remember, this represents 90. There's 180. There's 270. So I know 270 is between a 180 and 270. So we're going to go this way all the way around to closer to 270 than the 180. Right there, and we're going to say, okay, that's 240 degrees, what I just drew. Okay, let's try the 500 here. It's going to be interesting. 500, I'm going to do the same thing, change colors again. My initial side is going to be here. Okay, to get to 500, remember that's, sorry, that's 180. That's a bad 180. There's 270. This is 360 and 0. So, gosh, when you start going like this, that means that's like 450 if you keep on going around. So, like I'm going 90, 180, 270, 360, 450. I'm at 450. I got to go to 500. This would also be 540. I'm just keep adding 90s is all I'm doing. So 500 would be, about right there. So I'm going to draw this out right there. And you see the swirly thing I drew? All that movement represents 540 degrees. Remember, 360 is all the way around a circle. 720 is all the way around twice. So that's kind of what's happening there. Okay, let's look at this last one, part C. Doing the same thing. Negative 50 degrees. Now, when you do a negative angle, the only difference is it's going to go the opposite direction. So that's 0 degrees. This is negative 90. That's negative 1 because I'm going this direction. So if I'm going to go negative 50, I'm going to a little more than halfway to negative 90 and draw my angle right there. Remember, it starts here on the x-axis. That represents negative, not negative 90. That represents negative 50 degrees. Because it's most of the way to negative 90. So negative, if you're going to negative degrees, you're going to go this direction. If you're going positive degrees, you're going that direction. All right, find one positive angle and one negative angle that are coterminal. Now, coterminal just means they have the same, they look the same, but the measures are different. Okay, so let me show what I'm talking about here. The first one says negative 45 degrees. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw negative 45 degrees. Remember, negative means it's going the opposite direction, so it's negative 90. Negative 45 would look like this. We'll go here, be halfway to negative 90. So there's negative 45 degrees. Now, coterminal means it looks the same, but the measure is different. It says one positive, one negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a positive one. Let's say that goes from there all the way around to there. That would be the positive one. Now, how far did I just then go? Well, I'm 45 away from being back at 360. That means I went 315 degrees. That's how far I went in the green. Now, let me go yellow here. To find a negative one, to stop at the same spot, I got to go all the way around and then back there again. Okay, I'm the negative direction. So because I went all the way around, I went negative 360. Then I went 45 more, so I went negative 405 degrees. All right, that's coterminal. Angle looks the same, but has a different measure. The secret here is to get the first answer, you can just like add 360. And to get the second answer, you can subtract 360. I didn't tell you that though, but that's really all you gotta do. Okay, let's do one more. It says 395. I'm gonna draw 395. Remember, that's 360 and 0 when you go all the way around. That's 180 over here. So if I'm gonna go to 395, starting here, remember, 395 is like all the way around this 360 and then 35 degrees more. That right there would be 395 if I go all the way around there. Now, to find a positive one, technically on this one, I can just go like, just really short. How far above 360 is 395? is 35 degrees. So the positive one is 35 degrees. You could also go all the way around and back. You could add 360 again and get the same thing, except you get a bigger number than 35, but it's still a correct answer. There's an unlimited number of correct answers, but they do need to be correct. Okay, to find the negative one, I'm going to go the other way. Let's go yellow again. No, it is yellow. Let's go red. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to start here and go like all the way to there, which means I'm very close to being at negative 360, but I'm actually 35 away from that. So if I take the negative 360 and like say I was 35 away from that, I'm at negative 325 degrees. And again, the quickest way to do this, instead of drawing the picture and all that, is you can add 360 and you can subtract 360 degrees. It works every time. Okay. Radians and degrees. Okay, radians and degrees. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to do something on the fly because I thought I took this picture and I didn't. And I really need to see this, so I'm going to add a slide live. If you ever know what it's like making video, this is what it's like. I need this picture right here just before we do that next slide. So I'm going to take that picture and show you something with that picture, what a radian is. You really need to know what a radian is. Okay, there's my picture. Sorry about that, guys. 1 radian a radian is just a different way to measure an angle. If we're not using degrees, you can also use radians. Don't freak out, it's no big deal. But here's what 1 radian is. The angle here is 1 radian when this arc, when this arc right here that's made by the angle is exactly the same as the radius, okay? If this arc, if you were to take that arc right there and stretch it out in a straight line, and it was the same size as the radius, then it's 1 radian. So the formula looks like this. 1 radian, well, I'm using theta, is S, that stands for the arc length. Let's say that's S over R, which is the radius, S over R. Theta is S over R. That is a big deal. Now, think about this. Circumference, the whole circle is 2 pi R. If I go around the whole entire circle, the whole thing, that's 2 pi R. Right now, if you divide that by the radius, the R's would cancel. So the circumference of the whole circle is 2 pi radians. So it is 2 pi all the way around the circle. So think about what I was doing a minute ago. If I could redraw this circle right here. That angle where I used to put 360, I can now put 2 pi. All right, half of 2 pi, halfway around the circle is 1 pi, which means up top up here, that's 1/2 of pi, and down here that's 1.5 pi, which would be about like this. Okay, so this is a big deal, all right? So all the way around the circle in radians is 2 pi. Halfway around the circle is 1 pi. Up here, half a pi, 1 pi over 2, or just pi over 2. Those are big deals right there, all right? Big deals. Let me show you something on the next slide that we're going to do with them today. Okay, basically today we're going to change one to the other. We're going to change degrees to radians and radians to degrees. And this is how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to multiply the degree by pi radians over 180. That's what we're going to do. To go backwards, to change radians to degrees, we're going to multiply by 180 degrees over pi. Make sure you have that down somewhere because you're going to need it. Okay, so let's try a couple here. All right, first one says convert 125 to radians and then negative pi over 12 to degrees. So to radians, so here's what we said that we're going to do. We're going to do pi radians, that's radians, over 180 degrees. That's what's going to happen. Now, because that's on the bottom, the 180 is on the bottom, degrees are going to cancel, and you really get this. You get 125 pi over 180. So I'm just going to simplify the 125 over 180, put it in lowest terms. 5 goes into both of those. Let's see here. This is going to be 25 pi over 36 because 5 goes into 125 25 times and then 180 36 times. Now the second part says let's change negative pi over 12 radians to degrees. When you're going to do that, we're going to make sure our radians cancel. Okay, so I'm going to put a pi in my denominator, 180 degrees on the numerator. So what happens is, remember, this is radians, so the radians cancel, the pi's cancel, so what it leaves me with is a negative 180 over 12, and I believe 12 may go into 180. I'm checking my calculator real quick, and it does, 15 times, so I get 15 degrees. Okay, so all you gotta do, and matter of fact, when you come to class tomorrow, I'm gonna show you a little shortcut for doing that, hopefully make it a little bit easier for you. And I'm gonna end this video with one little picture for you to look at, and here it is. This is a picture of radius. This is actually called the unit circle, which we'll get to very soon. But this is what all the radian measures correspond with, like pi over 6. Think about it, it's 180 divided by 6, because pi over here, look at this. Pi is the same thing as 180. Pi radians, 180, same thing. So if you take all these degrees right here and you divide them by 180, this is what you get. Pi over 3, pi over 4, pi over 6, pi over 2. 2/3 of 180. This is 3/4 of the way to 180. That's 5/6 of the way to 180, or 5/6 of the way to pi. Okay, so those are all the relationships. We're going to talk a lot about this in class. Don't freak out if you don't get all this on the video. Remember, if you get some of it on the, 50%, 60%, feel pretty good about that much of it, that's good. We'll finish it up in class tomorrow, and hopefully you'll feel great when you walk out the door. So I'll see you then. See ya.